Hey everybody, it's Anna. Time for the Wednesday card and this week's tarot story. So today we have the Three of Swords reversed. So if you look at this card at first, you might think it's about heartbreak because there's literally three swords piercing a heart. But it's a swords card. So actually this card pertains to the mind. The number three connects to growing momentum. That means that we're beginning to gain some speed, right? So how can this card, which looks kind of devastating, be about gaining momentum? Well, the key here is that at this point in the Swords directory, the journey of the mind, its expectations are thwarted. That means it thought we were doing something, it had a plan, it had an idea, and it's not working. So the mind can be very upset about this. It can feel like it's actually lost something, almost like you've invested in this idea of something so profoundly that you think it's real, when it's still just an idea. It's only an idea. It's only a concept of where we're going, but it feels like a real loss because the mind's already invested in it. It'd be kind of like dating someone a couple times and you've already imagined marrying them and having children and the little house, and then it doesn't work. And the relationship actually wasn't developed that far. You've thought that far ahead, right? So when it ends, it's kind of an overinflated experience of loss because the mind didn't get what it thought it was going to get, right? But when that happens, it gives the mind an opportunity to realize that its expectations are usually very predictable, right? The mind experiences things through patterns, and patterns are what it already knows, right? So, but we're living in a spiritual journey, which is spontaneous. It's an adventure. We never know what's going to happen next. So when our expectations are thwarted, it's because there's something better happening. There's a curve in the path that's leading us somewhere that we wouldn't have expected, right? So the momentum here is the opportunity for the mind to relax and say, yeah, when things don't go the way I expected, it's because the intuition's in charge, because the universe is guiding and something better is happening. So yes, it's disappointing that I don't get what I want or that what I thought I wanted, but if I can just sort of relax and release, kind of let this momentum build and not put on my brakes and get resistant and get angry. If I can relax my resistance, I learn how to go with the flow and things move much quicker. And that's that momentum. The mind's beginning to catch on that it's not in charge of this journey. Its expectations are not setting the path. There's something else setting the path, and it's along for the ride. So that's how this is the positive card. It just feels kind of upsetting, right? So when the card is reversed, as it is here, it can suggest that the mind's being a bit obstinate or resistant. And this can happen because the mind really, it doesn't want to let go of its own expectations. So, yesterday's card was the Nine of Pentacles. And I talked about how the nine is that moment just before you've worked on this sort of physical manifestation. The woman's in this garden. She's enjoying what she created, but she's about to let it go, which is correct. That's what you're here. You're here to manifest things in a personal way and then release them into the world and then start something new. But the challenge for the mind is that the new thing is always the unknown thing, and the mind would prefer to do what it already knows how to do. So we have a tendency sometimes at the 9 point, this is very common, to sort of buckle down and not move on. Like, oh, this is what I've created. Isn't it lovely? Let's just sit in it. Let's just stay here. Let's not release it, because if we release it, we'll have to start something new. Let's stay here. And so it's almost like the right thing, the correct thing to do is now give this gift to the world and move on. And the mind's like, but no, I wanted to hold. I thought I was creating this for me. I thought I was going to get to keep this. And the truth is, you don't get to keep anything in the physical realm. You don't get to keep things. The physical realm is transient. And especially if you're an expansive person or a creative person, you're always releasing things. That's how your flow continues. If you stop releasing things, your flow gets stuck. And the mind here is sort of saying, I don't want the flow to continue. I want to stay where I am. Something else about the Nine of Pentacles, which I've got it right here. So let me just pull it up really fast. In this image, this woman has a falcon on her arm. The falcon is hooded, right? And so the falcon sort of represents that moment of release where she's like, she'll take the hood off the falcon and say, go fly. And to me, that's the moment where she releases. So the mind might want to keep the falcon hooded. No, the falcon's going to stay here on my arm. I'm going to stay in this garden and never move, right? Instead, we want the mind to realize that if you stay here, for one thing, it doesn't stay lovely. Like right now, in this moment of reflection, it feels really beautiful and complete, and you can feel satisfied. But if you don't release and then move on, this will not continue to feel satisfying. It'll start feeling frustrating and stagnant and stuck. So the mind may be kind of being belligerent or holding the resistance, saying, I don't want to move on. But we want to help the mind realize there is no actual way to stay. Even if you don't move forward, you don't get to keep this place, this experience of satisfaction. It starts to feel old, right? You can't stay joyful in the thing you've created. You have to let it go and start creating something new. So consider here where your mind might be holding out. There's an action step, there's a release point that needs to happen. Your mind's fighting it, not wanting it, kind of grumpy about it. Like, we worked so hard at this, I don't want to let it go. Like, yeah, you worked hard for it, so you could finally release it and start something new. This is a really important thing for the mind to learn. So, as the 3 would suggest, it gets better at momentum, at the flow, at working with the intuition rather than against it. That's today's card. See you tomorrow for our next one. Bye.